Hi everyone, my name's Liz McManus. I'm a project manager at Lutra and I'm here today with Maseina Koneferenisi, the new CEO of Lutra. Hi Maz.
Hi Liz.
We're just going to hear a little bit more from Maz about her journey on how she got to where she is today as a Pasifika woman in the water industry. So firstly, congratulations on your CEO appointment, Maz. We think you might be the first Pasifika woman to lead an engineering software firm in New Zealand. How do you feel about that?
Well, I'm not sure if that's totally correct, but because it's very hard to find statistics on that stuff, which is interesting in itself. Well, I feel really privileged and humbled to have this opportunity. I don't mind saying that when I stepped into the acting role some time ago, like the first couple of days, I think the enormity of it all set in and I was like, oh my goodness, you know, I'm actually responsible for 50 amazing people's lives. And so that didn't escape me, but I didn't let that sit with me for too long and I just kind of settled into it on maybe the third day. So no, I feel really good about it, Liz. We've got an amazing company and it just feels like a real privilege to have this opportunity to lead us and take us forward. I think one important thing for me is, you know, leadership can be seen as a reward, but it's more of a responsibility and, you know, that's what I really take on with this role.
And we're very lucky to have you as well.
Oh, thank you.
So getting to where you are today must have been quite the journey. How long have you been in the industry and where did it all start for you?
So I've been in the industry for around 27 years. So I started when I was, you know, my mid-20s. And it's funny how it started actually. It was just like a 6-month contract, which, you know, can often happen in councils. So I came from a central government role into Wellington Regional Council at the time. And it was sort of just a small compliance role. And from there, it just evolved into a whole lot of big, massive moving parts. And once I had got my teeth into the industry and actually really understood what water was about, because at that time I was, you know, primarily focused on water and all the compliance related to water and the impact on people's lives, that's when I really thought, I didn't think outside of the industry at that time, so that's when I thought, oh yeah, I think this is the right place for me. So it's been quite a journey in a lot of different roles in a few different organisations. It wasn't until almost 7 years ago was when I moved from local government to private sector, and that's when I first started at Lutra.
And you must have faced some challenges as a Pasifika woman in the water industry. How did you deal with that?
Yeah, so I did face a lot of challenges, Liz, not just being a woman, but being a Pasifika woman, and also not actually being an engineer. So there were, you know, a few different dynamics to that. You know, but you just work through things and you put your best foot forward and, you know, people overcome stuff and I overcame a lot of things. I think the important thing is that the new generation don't have to go through those obstacles and they're not exposed to some unacceptable behaviours, really.
So do you think things have changed since you first got into the industry?
Oh yes, significantly so, which is fantastic. You know, our young people these days don't accept bad behaviour and they do have a tendency to kind of, you know, wave the flag, put their hand up, that's not on. And it doesn't really matter whether you're a leader or you're a peer, you know, and I love that because that's about holding people to account. And so I think there's been some huge steps forward in that space, and we see that now with, you know, a few more Maori and Pasifika people coming into the sector.
So what do you think we can do to increase the numbers of Pasifika and Maori in the three waters sector?
I think there's a massive opportunity right now, particularly given reform, and you know there's a lot of change going on, and there is a lot of rhetoric around the number of resources that are required for us to actually be able to deliver what we need to deliver for our communities. So you think, well, where are those numbers coming from? You know, they can come from all over the place, but it feels to me like we've got a pool right here in New Zealand with our Maori people and our Pasifika people, and we need to find ways that we can tap into that. And there are lots of different ways that you can do that. And my advice would be to just start the journey. If you're not doing anything, just start the journey.
So what's Lutra doing in this space?
So we started our journey a couple of years ago, and it has just been slow progress. We're actually at the point now of executing some of our thoughts and aspirations. So we have started working with an amazing consultancy company from down south called Naya Limited, and we're rolling out a program of cultural intelligence work, really, to try to get everybody up to speed, to appreciate more about Māori values and engaging with iwi and tangata whenua. We've also just this week kicked off a couple of small scholarships that we are offering to Pasifika and Māori students who are from economically challenged circumstances and who need some support financially and in the mentoring space. And we have kind of a future plan of where we head with those things, but internal training is a big one for us, and then actually connecting with iwi throughout New Zealand.
And what's a leader's role in all of this?
I think the challenge for leaders is the heart, because you have to be sincere about it. But if I was a white male in my 50s, I might find it really hard to connect with why we should have more Pasifika people, for example, in the sector. And I think that is perfectly fine. But the leader's role is to make sure if they haven't got that heart in the organisation, someone else has. And as long as I've got someone there, that person, if they've got the passion and the sincerity, they'll bring the rest of the business with them. They just have to be empowered to be able to lead that way. And as leaders, we have to learn. You know, we're always learning, right? So it's not you always learning from me. I'm always learning from you too. So I think that's a leader's role. You don't have to have everything, but you need to enable the business to have everything.
So what advice have you got for Maori and Pasifika individuals who are trying to get into the industry?
I think be persistent, reach out, get on LinkedIn, just to do all the normal channels that you would if you were looking for a job. But do not be afraid to connect with people because of their title. Put your hand up, you need a hand in. And remember that there are so many different roles in this sector. You know, it's always very closely associated with engineering. But, there's data scientists, there's analysts, there's consent people, there's video, videography, there's people that fix leaks. So there's a whole myriad of opportunities, and now more than ever is the time to just crack that door open yourself. And like I say, don't be afraid to ask.
Awesome. Well, thank you very much, Maz. That was really interesting to hear more about your journey and how far you've come. So yeah, really appreciate you sharing.
You're welcome. Thank you, Liz.